Guys, you are not in control. Just for some context, I grew up in Alabama. I grew up going to church. Never really thought about it too much, but that was just what I did. I went off to college, played college football, joined a fraternity, having fun, but I definitely was not going to church, was not talking to God, was not something I was prioritizing. And I still graduated with a computer science degree, got a great job working as a software engineer out here in Dallas at one of the biggest banks in the world, making 100K plus. Life's great. Came out here, met this girl, started dating, had a great relationship. Things were going really well. But, if she did one thing, she really challenged me on my faith. And that was the first time that ever really happened. And I was not ready for that. I thought I was this grown man of God. But when you get called out by someone saying that, you said that you were a man of God, but you're not prioritizing us going to church, you're not trying to pray for us, things like that. That is not what a man wants to hear. And, that really hit me, and that was really hard to deal with, if I'm being honest. But, so time went on, I lost her, went and joined a startup, had quit my job, wanted to get into the entrepreneurial space. That startup failed. I went on to start my own business, got into that, very quickly lost all of my money, absolute rock bottom. I even got my power shut off at one point in time because I couldn't pay it. And that was absolute rock bottom for me. And it was at this moment in time that I finally realized that I had to drop my ego. I had to stop thinking that I was the one in control, because we're not, guys. That was when I surrendered to God. And, I had to tell him that, I can't do this anymore on my own, God. I want to trust you. I want you to lead me. I want a relationship with you, God. And, I surrendered that day. And that was really when everything changed. There's a lot of things that are tied to your faith that you don't realize. But if you're somebody who's not happy with where you're at, or, you're not sure what your future looks like, you hate your job, but you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you want to start a business, but you feel stuck in the current job that you're at. And at the end of the day, those are just things that you don't trust God with. When you're right with God, you truly have that faith, that belief that God is in control and that he's navigating your life. You're just here doing what you're supposed to do. That's when everything changes. You just have this joy in your heart. That stress is gone, the anxiety is gone. And that's when you really start living out your truth, guys. So if you're a guy, especially watching this, and you haven't dropped your ego, you still think that you're in control, you're not.